Hey guys, are you ready to spend an hour trying to get a RNG-based minigame or RNG-based achievement? No? Well, too bad, because you're gonna watch me do it, god damn it. And I clicked the wrong difficulty. Great start there, John. Alright. So, right now, we are gonna go for the minigames. And oh my god, we got a good seed. And I immediately failed. Nice. Because I completely messed up the timing. Alright. So, right now, at least for this part, I guess. It's still off. For this recording session, or for this recording part, or for this part of the playthrough, we're going to work on 4 achievements. Those being achievements tied into the bonus games. So we have Crane Fever, Quick Draw, Egg Catcher, and Versus Boss. Now the first 3 are basically minigames we've played during the main game. However, we also have Versus Boss, which is basically a boss rush. But we're gonna save that for last. And oh, really? You gotta press start? Okay, fine. All right. And yeah, we're gonna get Crane Fever out of the way first because this is the most annoying one of the bunch. I think that's gonna grab? No, it's not gonna grab. Oh, it is gonna grab, but it's gonna drop frame 1. No, it didn't drop frame 1, but I'd still fail. So yeah, basically, the achievements for, or 3 of the the achievements related to the mini games, consist on getting essentially a perfect in all of them by playing on the hardest difficulty, that being level 3. Now, I will say that Egg Catcher is not as bad, and this is a bad seed, so we're just gonna... Wait, what is my, control... Oh my god, really? What is my, control setup? Save core. There we go. Yeah, that's weird. Why? Yeah, that's weird. Why did it reset my controllers? That's weird. That has never happened to me before. But yeah, basically you need to get a perfect on all 3 minigames. And I will say that Egg Catcher is definitely the easiest one because you can actually get a pattern down. Oh, well, look at that. Quick Draw is practically impossible unless you cheat. So I'm gonna do that because screw pride. And as for this one, we have to rely on nothing but pure RNG. And yeah, this one is definitely the worst of the 3. This is what many consider to be the worst achievement in the set, and I can completely understand why. Yep. I need to find the timing. Wait, I want to say... yeah, that's a bit off. Now, that being said, when I first got this achievement, I spent, and I'm not kidding, almost 2 hours on one session trying to get this. And this is a bad seed, so we're just gonna... Actually, you know what? Let's get the guaranteed Fat Kirby, unless it drops frame 1. But yeah, basically what you want to do is not have the thing like that. But basically what you need to do is, in order to get a perfect in this one... Oh, shit. We need to get 2 Fat Kirbys. which for those who don't know, basically by getting a Fat Kirby, you will get 2 1-ups. And basically, you just need to... I will say the hardest part about this whole minigame is getting the timing right for the crane. That being said, I do have a I did learn the when to release the button. So for example, when the Fat Kirby is in the middle, what I like to do is let go of the button, let go of the A button when it crosses this intersection with the pink lines. So they... Oh my god, that was terrible. So yeah, basically what I do is I wait for the crane to get past this point, and then I release the button. And why is it showing the thing? Also, yeah, I think it dropped it in C. But yeah, once you get the timing, it's really not that hard. However, it doesn't matter if you get the timing right and position right. You essentially have to play you basically need to play a game of luck, because the one thing that makes this minigame insanely annoying is the fact that the chance of the Kirby dropping is predetermined. And basically means that no matter if you decide to practice while using save states or anything, even if you keep loading back the save states, if you're playing on softcore mode, if you see the Kirby drop every time you pick it up, you try to wait for the perfect opportunity to actually get the Fat Kirby. Well, sucks to be you, because you're not getting the Fat Kirby, because the game basically is giving you the fact that you're not getting it because the random number generator basically predetermined the fact that you're going to fail the... Oh my god. You're going to fail... You are going to fail the grab, or the Fat Kirby is gonna let go. And this also applies to the small Kirby as well. The small Kirby can actually let go on the level 3, which is incredibly stupid. But yeah, this right here is definitely one of the worst minigames. Possibly the entire Kirby series. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This is by far one of the worst design minigames ever. Now, the best seed that you can get, or the best spawn point you can get when it comes to the Kirbys, is you want to make sure that the small Kirby... You want to make sure that the small Kirby is at the rightmost side. But because, yeah, if he is at the rightmost, if he is at the leftmost, then yeah, I think it's practically impossible to actually, you know, get the Kirbys. Especially the Kirby that is the farthest away from, because you basically need to pray to every god imaginable that it doesn't drop. And, oh my god, I'm not gonna grab it. Alright, okay, what was the timing? I forgot. I want to say it's after the third blinking light. Yeah, that seems about right. Now watch, it's gonna drop. No, it didn't. Wow, look at that. So if I got it the first time, I might have had a chance to get the second one. And yeah, basically, because the small Kirby can spawn and because so basically the spawn points for the Kirbys, there are 6 different types of Kirby spawns you can get. If the small Kirby is in the left, you can get a Fat Kirby in the middle or the right. If the small Kirby is in the middle, which very rarely happens, you can get a Fat Kirby on the right and the left. And if the Kirby is in the left or in the right, you will get a Fat Kirby in the left and the right. And basically, you want to make sure that the small Kirby is on the rightmost side, because that's going to give you more opportunity. That's going to make it less stressful for you to actually get the other Kirbys. Or get the Fat Kirbys. And yeah, basically, if you get the small Kirby on the... If you get the small Kirby on the left, I would recommend you just reset the game. Or actually, no, do not reset the game. Just fast forward and just play again. And, oh my god, of course I didn't grab it. And yeah, that's actually another thing that can happen. You can do the first Kirby right, but you will just fail the other one. And I will say right now that one of the more... He's not going to grab it. It is going to grab it. Wow, look at that. I would say that the biggest godsend you can get is if the Fat Kirby is in the middle and you manage to grab it, then you have a high chance of getting the Kirby that spawns on the left. Now that being said, I had 2 instances where the Fat Kirby, where I got the first Fat Kirby in the middle, but when the Fat Kirby came on the left, I managed to grab him twice, and both those times, the Fat Kirby, the crane dropped the Fat Kirby frame 1. I wish I was making this up, but it is true. And I will say, and I do remember that on my successful attempt, I believe I got the left Kirby first and then the middle one. So basically this pattern. So, but you know, basically this whole thing relies purely on luck, whether you're gonna drop the Fat Kirby or not. And yeah, look at that. I got a small glimpse of hope, but it turned out to not be a reality. So yeah, I will say that the timing for releasing the A button is really not that hard. But you basically need to hope that the RNG gods manage to be on your favor. Now, like I mentioned, oh, he's not gonna grab it. Yep. Now, like I mentioned before, or like I mentioned in the last video, is that if we have a pattern like this, and we actually manage to grab the Kirby, no, he's not gonna grab it. No. All right, let me try to show it. Well, never mind. But yeah, I did show it in the last session, but if the small Kirby is in the center and you have the first Fat Kirby on the right side, if you grab it and the crane manages to get passed over the small Kirby, the Fat Kirby will not drop because there cannot be 2 Kirbys on the same place. So yeah, that's actually one thing you gotta... That's actually one beneficial thing that you can, to some extent, have. Also, what the heck was that grab? So, what you could do, if you are insanely lucky, is... If the small Kirby is on the right... I'm sorry, on the left, and you manage to get the Kirby on the right side, no problem, and then you have the one in the middle... There's a high chance that if the crane manages to get close to the small Kirby, he's not going to drop and you're going to get the achievement. But yeah, this is, without question, the most time-consuming achievement of the entire set, and I'm not going to be surprised if it takes me over an hour. But yeah, this is basically all that it is. Because yeah, as you can see by this footage, I've been able to get the Kirbys no problem. The problem is that they just drop immediately. See, look at that. I think that was a frame 1 drop. So yeah, you gotta love it. Because yeah, after playing this stupid minigame for so long, I got the timing, well, almost. I can confidently say that oh wow, look at that. A frame 1 drop. That's amazing. I can confidently say that I have a 95% success rate when it comes to grabbing the Kirby. Or at the very least when it comes to grabbing the Kirby on the left and the middle. Because I don't even bother trying if the Kirby is at the rightmost side of the screen. And see, look at that, frame 1 drop. But yeah, this is basically the thing. And yeah, just quite literally good luck. Also, I would recommend you actually turn off the volume because you're gonna hear the song so goddamn much to the point that, yeah, I'm getting sick and I just got so sick and tired. I'm not even wearing my headphones, so yeah. And oh my god, that was terrible. Now, I will say right now that if the achievement was getting a Fat Kirby and a Small Kirby, I would not be that bothered. However, because you are forced to get both Fat Kirbys, makes this achievement more insufferable. Just because the chance of the Fat Kirby dropping, I want to say it's higher to some extent. Although that being said, I have tried. Actually, you know what? Let me get a Small Kirby just to show you. Let's say if it actually drops. Or if I'm gonna grab it, you know. Yeah, see, look at that. Even the Small Kirbys drop. Even the Small Kirbys will actually drop from the crane. When in level 1, if you get a Small Kirby, you basically get a guaranteed 1-up, which is again is incredible. The fact that they actually make it so that you cannot even get a Small Kirby on level 3 makes it insanely stupid. Makes it insufferably stupid. Oh my god, what the heck was that momentum? It doesn't matter, we're not gonna grab it anyway. But yeah. This is just repetition upon repetition. And you just need to get lucky. And hope to God that you manage to grab them both. But also manage to... I'm not gonna grab it. Yep. But you also gotta make sure that you have... You also gotta make sure that you... also get incredibly lucky that... And, you know, make sure that the game doesn't drop it because the dice has been already rolled, you know? Now, you could try to, like, do some emulator modifications to actually make the game run slower, but at the end of the day, that really doesn't matter, because, as you can see, well, kinda, I've been getting the timing on the crane almost consistently. So, but again, the problem is not... The hard part is not getting the timing. The hard part is that you gotta make sure that you're lucky with the grabs. Also, my god, why is the Small Kirby being so annoying? Okay. Oh, it's not gonna grab. No. Alright. Oh my god, I'm... Why am I so bad at the middle one? What the heck? Alright. So yeah. We're almost at 20 minutes of recording, and yeah, we're still at this point. So, again, it's not gonna be surprising to me if it takes me an hour. Okay, that's perfect. But yeah, I will say that the hardest part about timing your... about timing the release of the A button with the crane is because... The movement of the crane is very inconsistent, because I swear that sometimes when you let go of the button, the crane either stops in place... let me show you. Or it does something like that, where I release the button, but it slides a bit, like if it's on ice physics, you know? But there's also other times where the crane will just stop in place, which is just very dumb. But at the same time, I did manage to find the timing for the crane. Like, for example, if I'm gonna get the one in the one on the left, I make sure that the crane goes past the third blinking light, and then I just grab it, or almost past it, or I would say in between. So yeah, right there. So, God, I wish you could see my mouse. I know that there's actually an option in RetroArch to show the mouse, but basically, I guess I could show you right here, but I don't know if you can see it. But yeah, I basically let go of the A button when I'm like when the silver part of the crane is in this spot. And for the one in the middle, I try to release it like over here. So that's basically my timing when it comes to the... Oh, damn it. When it comes to the timing for the release of the A button. But yeah, this is basically this is basically the first bonus game. And yeah, the reason I'm deciding to get rid of it now is because once I do it, I don't have to worry about this ever again, which means that unless they decide to make this an achievement for the 3DS version, which if you do, I'm gonna hate you for the rest of my life. Yeah, you have to... I'm never playing this stupid minigame again, at least on the highest difficulty. And yeah, so far, I have not been... I believe my success rate when it comes to getting the Fat Kirby in has been a 0%, so... That is not good. No, that's not gonna grab. Nope. Yep. Also, why does I feel my speed up is much faster here than in my laptop? Yeah, because I could swear that the speed up is not as fast as it is now. I started to notice that in when I did Mario 64, but yeah, it's just weird. I might have to look that up before I do the next game, or once I... Oh yeah, before I do the next game, because the next game I'm doing after this is gonna be GoldenEye. I mean, I already mentioned it, but yeah. I mean, to be fair, I was gonna do GoldenEye last year, but yeah, oh my god, that was terrible. But I decided to just not do it because I wanted to focus on Metroid Prime, on the Metroid Prime video. And also the end of year video. Oh, well, I guess I'm not going to show you that the Kirby will not fall above the other one. And that's not going to grab. Nope. But yeah, this is basically the loop you have to do. And it sucks. It really does. It is, like I said before, this is honestly contender for one of the worst achievements in all my Kirby masteries. And that's actually very, very annoying. The fact that there's always that one achievement. Okay, hang on. There's always that one achievement in a Kirby set that is just incredibly annoying to get. I mean, Dreamland 1 had Kabola and DDD extra mode damageless. This game has this. Superstar has Samurai Kirby on expert without or beat Samurai Kirby on expert. What else? Amazing Mirror. Actually, Amazing Mirror is not that bad. I would say it's the easiest of the... I would say Amazing Mirror is the easiest of the Kirby sets I've mastered. Superstar Ultra... I mean, there is Samurai Kirby, but you don't have to play on expert, so... And then, of course, we have the reigning champion, which is Squeak Squad, which has Dark Deroach Vanilla Challenge, which is one of the most insufferable achievements I've ever gotten in my entire life. Alongside with a very particular achievement in a particular first-person shooter that requires you to perform a goddamn glitch in a main set. So, yay. Wow, frame 1 drop. Amazing. Also, if you're wondering, no. The Fat Kirby, any Kirby you get will never respawn in the same place. So, if you get the Kirby in the if you get a Kirby on the left side, then the next Kirby will spawn on the side that there was nothing. That will be in the middle. In that case. So yeah, if you think you can just hope that 2 Fat Kirbys will spawn on the left side, well, sucks. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but that ain't happening, Chief. Now there's actually people mentioning in the there's actually people saying that the best starting pattern you can get is this right here with the Fat Kirby in the middle and the small Kirby on the right, because if you manage to get the Fat Kirby, the left Kirby is a guaranteed drop, except not really, because like I mentioned before, I failed twice to get the Fat Kirby in the left after getting the one in the middle. But yeah, this achievement for a very long time, for I want to say almost 5 months, no, 4 months, has been the reason as to why I just didn't want to master this game. But, you know, I eventually did in December of last year when I was mastering the game back in August of last year. So, you know, I figured, you know what? Let's just get this game out of the way just because of this stupid minigame. Because, you know, once I master this game, I never have to play it again. Well, like I said, unless they decide to have the 3D Classic version on 3DS make you do this again, which I hope not. I really hope not, because you can go to the comments of this achievement, and everyone will agree that this is one of the worst achievements in the entire set, if not the worst. And it's not, and I'm just gonna go and say this right now. It's not hard. It's just tedious. It's just very tedious. So, I've showed this before, but I do have a spreadsheet on all the masteries I've done, and I basically rate the set when it comes to difficulty and fun. And when I say fun, I mean how fun was it for me to actually, you know, master the set, not how fun was the set overall, which, you know, that's basically what I rank when I review sets for the channel. But I put this achievement as the hardest achievement, and I'm gonna be completely honest. If I were to make a two stats of being the best and the worst achievement, this would definitely go on worst achievement, because I will say that at the end of the day, I actually did find, at least in my original mastery, I did find beating the boss rush much harder than this. Just because for boss rush, you basically need to beat every single main boss back to back without healing. Which we're gonna get into, which, you know, that's gonna be the last thing we do for this for this video of the playthrough, basically. I don't want to say session, because depending how fast I do, depending when I get this achievement, will depend if I'm gonna do extra mode, today, because Yeah, extra mode. For extra mode, you basically need to play the game again. The only difference is that you have half HP and you have to beat the game in one session because there's no saves. It doesn't have a save feature. But yeah, we're at 30 minutes of recording, and so far we've had, I would say, no, not 100%. We've had, I want to say, 80% success rate on getting the left Kirby, but I think we've had a 0% on getting the middle Kirby. Which, yeah, I will say that the middle Kirby is definitely the most annoying one, just because it's the most RNG one, basically. And as for the Kirby on the left, is basically a coin flip. I mean, you know what? Let me just show you if it decides to actually get it. Okay, so yeah, because the small Kirby was there, the fat Kirby went inside no problem. Now, wouldn't it be funny if we actually get this like this? That would be insanely hilarious. But no, it's gonna drop frame 1. No, it dropped frame 5. But yeah, because the small Kirby was there, that first fat Kirby went in. You know, wouldn't it be funny if we actually get it? Oh, never mind. Wow, frame 1. Nice. No, it's not gonna grab it. Nope. It wouldn't matter because it would not gone in. But yeah, I will say that whoever programmed this stupid minigame, I hope you rot in the same room. I hope you rot in the same room as the one who programmed Beaver Bother from Donkey Kong 64, because oh my god. I don't think I've experienced a more insufferable minigame ever since Beaver Bother. I mean, the last minigame, the previous one that was insufferable was Flip the Chimp from Mario Party 8, just because of the very bad input when it comes to flicking the Wiimote to change the position of the chimp. But man, Beaver Bother is in a completely different category. I might even go ahead and say it's one of the worst mini games, or one of the worst bonus games I've ever played in my entire life. Also, yeah, I need to start shutting up because I'm losing focus. But yeah, I guess I will see you guys when I eventually get this. So, because yeah, I am not cutting any of this. You are watching the entire experience. Wow, look at that. It landed almost on top of it, but you know. Wow, okay. That was that was the that was the closest time we've actually gotten on getting the Fat Kirby. We're still at 0% though. Oh my god. Also, yeah, if you want, also yeah, if there's like moments where there's like nothing happening, it's because I'm basically on my phone after I grab the Fat Kirby in the middle. Oh my god. But yeah, that is the closest we've ever gotten with the Fat Kirby. But now it's all gonna go to shit because, you know, I got... That's basically the curse I bear, you know? I've mentioned this many times. I've mentioned this many times, and I'm gonna keep mentioning it. Oh my god. But, you know, it's the curse that I bear where if I don't get the hard stuff on the first try, I have to struggle about 50 more times before I actually do it. Now, yes, you could call it, well, it's beginner's luck, therefore, Your beginner slug is over. Now you have to suffer. Now I hate when that happens because it's unfair. But every time I start making progress, the game basically decides, no, you're now just gonna suffer for even more. A very good example of that happening was with the goddamn Tiny Huge Island coin collecting achievement for the 64 subset, where I was almost there, but the game decided, no, screw you, you're not getting it. And oops. No, I don't want to play a game of catching eggs. At least not yet. Because yeah, like I said, we are not moving on until we get this stupid achievement. Wow, look at that. It's been a while since we got a Fat Kirby drop on the left. No, that's not gonna grab. No, that's not gonna grab. Because the stupid hitboxes, man. Like I said before, if this was level 1, that would have grabbed. But because you need to be more precise with the crane, the margin of error is kind of unfair in some regard. Oh my god. Yeah, that's not gonna grab. Yep. Don't matter because it wouldn't have gone in. But yeah, like I said, the success of getting the Fat Kirby is basically the more challenging one. And wow! Frame 1 drop. You gotta love it. I also love the fact that, you know, when you drop it, it moves backward. It moves away from the hole. That comes to show that even in video games, crane games are a complete scam. Which fun fact, I actually wasted about $10 on, no, not $10, but I mean, I live in Chile, but okay, let me so I live in Chile, and I spend around 5,000 Chilean pesos, which is basically the equivalent. Now it's the equivalent of $10. No, now it's the equivalent of $5 in the US. And yeah, I basically spend all that money, or around all that money, just to get something on a crane game for a girl I had a crush on. Spoilers, I did not get a goddamn thing, so I wasted money for nothing, so. And ever since that day, I have never touched a crane machine ever again. Because these things are fucking scams. I mean, everyone has said it already, but, you know. I wanted to share my very fun story of actually my very first experience with a crane machine. So yeah, that was fun. My one and only. Actually, no. When my little brother graduated from school, we went to a restaurant that had a crane game where if you win a prize, you can get a free dessert. And none of my family members won, so there you go. Because, you know, the funny thing is, I believe my mom grabbed the prize. However, as the crane was going back into the hole, the momentum of the crane, because, you know, unlike this crane, which is stationary, usually the cranes in the crane game just wobble all over the place. And yeah, because of that wobbling, the crane actually dropped the price, and yeah, we didn't get any desserts, so there you go. In other words, kids, do not gamble on crane machines. They are worse than they are worse than loot boxes. And wow, look at that, I got the thing. Hey, look at that, guys! I finally got the Fat Kirby. So stupid. It took me 2 grabs, but I got it nonetheless, so there you go. That's 1 out of 40,000 or something, I don't know. Now, of course, we have managed to get the Fat Kirby if the small Kirby is in the right. Or, I'm sorry, in the left, but by technicality, it doesn't count. And, oh my god. I think that's the 3rd time that we almost got, or the Fat Kirby was almost at the thing. Now, there is a range where, if the crane reaches a certain spot with the glass hole, the Kirby will not drop. So, I want to say it's a thing after the metal thing goes past the 3rd light, but I might be completely wrong on that assumption. Yeah, that might seem the case, because I don't think because it cannot go through the thing. We're at 50 minutes, by the way, of recording. Wow, frame 2 drop. Amazing. Yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna be surprised if we end up at an hour, if we go past the hour mark. And keep in mind that, you know, I'm basically skipping all these other patterns unless we get the small Kirby on the right. So, yeah. If I tried to get the Kirbys with the small Kirby in other positions, yeah, this would have taken me even longer. And of course, it didn't grab because what? Because fuck you. Not to mention, thank God for the fast forward feature. Oh my god, that was terrible. Man, why am I sucking on the Fat Kirby now? Or the middle one now? Oh, you know why? Oh, it's not gonna grab. You know why? Because if I manage to get flawlessly the one in the left, I'm gonna fail on the one on the middle. But if I flawlessly get the one in the middle, I'm gonna fail the one in the left. Because that's my luck, people. That is the curse I have to bear. Also, I haven't checked how long it took me to get the ball crackle achievement, so yeah, I cannot compare this to that one. Also, can we please get a of course. There we go. That's not gonna grab. Yep. It's not gonna grab because fuck you. Basically, for the one in the middle, you want to make sure you have... Wow, frame one drop. You basically want to make sure you drop... The crane, or the metal part of the crane gets, like, in the middle of the orange triangle. That's basically what I try to do. Or where I want it to land. But yeah, like I said, because the crane sometimes stops on a dime or goes or has like ice physics, once you let go of the A button, it can be very inconsistent sometimes. Okay, that was my fault because I was talking. Now I'm missing all the grabs. Wow, look at that. My luck is running out. My skill is running out. Also, in case you're wondering, where am I looking to release the A button? I'm basically looking at where the metal part of the crane is. I release the button once it... Oh my god, of course. I release the button once the crane reaches or goes past a particular section of the decoration from the top. Or the lights in case of the Fat Kirby on the left. Oh, come on. That's not gonna grab because this game sucks. Also, I guess I should mention this real quick. I have, in all of my attempts, I have never, and I mean, I have never been able to get the Fat Kirby on the rightmost side. I'm honestly convinced that I'm honestly convinced it's actually impossible to get it. That's not gonna grab. Of course not. He's just that fat. It's not gonna grab because the game sucks. Yep. Also, yeah, out of curiosity, I did try level 2, and the difference between level 2 and level 1 is almost non-existent, so I don't understand why there's a level 2. It's not gonna grab. Oh my god. Why am I suddenly struggling with the middle one? Fuck you. We almost got the middle one as the first one. Frame one, of course. Of course, we get a fucking frame one drop. Actually, you know what? I take back what I said about whoever programmed this. Whoever invented crane machines should rot in hell. Should rot in hell. Should rot in the same place as the one who programmed Beaver Bother, because what was going through your mind when you decided to create this contraption of hell? I wonder. I wonder. Wow. Fuck you too, asshole. And there we go. We're past the hour mark. Congratulations. We are wasting our time for no stupid reason, because this minigame fucking sucks. You know, if I was doing like ranking videos and I were to rank all the Kirby minigames, I would not be surprised if this is in last place. Oh my god! I swear, I let it go in the same place, but sometimes it just stops on a dime. God, I fucking hate this crane so much. Again, whoever invented the stupid crane game, I really hope you rot in the deepest pit of hell. Okay, that is gonna grab. But it's gonna drop because this game sucks. Yep. Again, we have a 0% success rate with the Fat Kirby in the middle. We have never gotten a Fat Kirby in. Frame 1 drop, of course, because this game sucks. Absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. Frame 1 drop. Frame 1 drop again, because this game sucks. It's not gonna grab because fuck this game. Oh my god, come on. I'm not kidding when I say this, but this achievement alone is the sole reason I didn't want to make. I wanted to skip this game and go to Dreamland 2, just because the amount of bullshit you have to deal with in order to get both Kirbys is just insufferably is stupid. And like I said before, if they ask us to get one Fat Kirby and one small Kirby, I would not be complaining. But because you need to get both Fat Kirbys in a minigame where it relies purely on RNG, whether the Kirby's gonna drop from the crane or not, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This is bad game design. And you know what? It's bad. It is a bad achievement. It is a bad achievement. I will say that the closest achievement that comes in the same vein as this is the twins from Luigi's Mansion. Grabbing the twins at the same time in Luigi's Mansion. That comes at a, I would say that comes as a second place as one of the worst achievements I've gotten for the channel. Or as part of the RetroAchievement Masteries. Of course it didn't grab. Because I was 1 pixel away. Or 1 pixel to the left. Although, when we get to GoldenEye, this achievement will be immediately dethroned. Because, yeah. I will say that GoldenEye has what is to this day one of the worst achievements I've ever gotten. In a main set, for the record. Wow, frame 1 drop. Fuck you too, game. Alright, now the question is, are we going to reach the 2-hour mark? I say yes. Because I am not confident at all. Especially dealing with bullshit, slippery crane physics, because fuck you. And yeah, like I said, the reason I wanted to do this one first is because the other two are relatively easy compared to this abomination of a minigame. Because like I said, Egg Catcher, it is very easy because you can actually get a pattern. Which I will explain. And Quick Draw, I'm just gonna cheat. Because I'm not, because, you know, try to beat any reaction-based minigame in an emulator. Not on actual hardware, but in an emulator. You will and you will see that it is actually impossible. Probably 95% impossible unless you press the button the moment the thing pops up because you got incredibly lucky. See, look at that. I released the button early, but the thing just slid off. You know, I think that yellow is not decoration. It's actually butter. Because that's what makes the Kirbys fall off very easily. That's not gonna make it, yep. I don't even know why I bother. See, look at that. Now it's stopped on a dime. Oh man, I'm gonna have so much fun making the video for this game. Or at least explain this part of it, or this part of the game. Oh my fucking god. Kiss my ass, game. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I'm not gonna lie when I say this. I'm starting to doze off. This is. I'm legitimately starting to doze off. Oh my god. I'm not kidding. I'm actually starting to doze off. Holy crap. Oh my god. I don't remember what was the last game I fell asleep to. Oh, I know. I know a game. Wario Land 1. There's an achievement for getting a perfect on the hardest shooting minigame, which unless you are a god of timing, it is actually impossible. It is practically impossible to get. And yeah, just like this stupid game, that is an achievement that is preventing me from mastering the game. And yeah, like I said, there's always that one achievement that just is nothing but straight up bullshit. Oh my god. It also doesn't help that I want to try to master GoldenEye before I go on vacation. Not to mention, I also need to write the script for for Mario 64, this game, and GoldenEye, if I want to do that. But that's okay. I'm probably gonna write this. I'm gonna start writing 64 script tonight. Oh my god. Dude, I released on the same fucking place, but it just... Still 0%, by the way. Still 0% success rate, by the way. Oh my god. Okay, that's gonna grow. Although it's gonna fall off. Frame 1! I fucking love it, man. This game is so well designed. Ugh, God. Oh wow, that actually did grow. Frame 1. Frame 1. Man, this game is so well made. You know, when I got this achievement back in December, I did not... Oh my god, come on! And the small one dropped frame 1. Oh. Fuck you. Fuck you, game. Fuck you. When I got this achievement back in December in my personal account, I did not celebrate. I just gave a huge sigh, and I just moved on to the next mastery. Because yeah, these types of achievements are just the ones that once you get them, you're just like, you don't go, yes, we did it. You basically go, thank God it's over. And honestly, that is the worst type of achievement or trophy out of them all. And I should know, because as someone who platinumed every single Souls game offline, I know the tedious grind for the fucking Covenant items. And let me tell you, it is really bad. Like, ultra mega bad. Like, one of the worst things I think I've ever done when it came to getting the platinum in PlayStation games. And, oh yeah, that's actually another game I dozed off on. Dark Souls 3. I actually literally fell asleep trying to grind Silver Knights for the Proof of Concord kept. And I actually fell asleep again trying to get the vertebra shackles in the catacombs of Carthus. But yeah, it was so boring. Like, I love the Souls games with all my heart, but yeah, getting the platinum, is something I'm never doing ever again. It's also the reason as to why when it comes to the Souls trilogy, I primarily do either strength or dexterity build. I never go for spells or intelligence or faith build. Just because, you know, the grind for those things is gonna be, it's basically unbearable. Now, of course, you say like, but John, you don't need them, but, you know, some of the best spells are locked behind Covenant stuff, so there you go. Even the fucking Praise the Sun Jester is locked behind the Covenant in Dark Souls 1, where you need to have at least 25 faith to... Oh my god. Why is not sliding? Oh my god. The moment I get the Fat Kirby on the fucking center, I fuck up the one on the left. Oh my god. Fucking kill myself. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. Good fucking grief, man. Of course I fuck up the one. Of course I fuck it up. Because the stupid crane has fucking either ice physics or rigid physics. Just like fucking real-life cranes, because these things are fucking scams. Worse than anything that video game companies do, in my opinion. Oh, and of course I get it now. No, never mind. No, never mind. Fucking A, man. Fucking A. Hour 20, by the way. Hour and 20 minutes. You know, a part of me wishes that there was like a medium Kirby, so that we've had 3 spawn points, so that, you know, the Fat Kirby just keeps spawning in the same place. But, you know, that would be asking for a generous donation by the part of the game. But yeah, that's never gonna happen. Fuck you. Wait, let me see something, because I was gonna make a point, but I don't think it actually... And, oh my god, of course it didn't grab! Of course it didn't grab, because I was 1 pixel to the fucking right! Blow me, game. Blow me. Fucking blow me. It's not gonna grab, because fuck you. It's not gonna grab because fuck this game. Alright, let me see. Let me check something real quick. While we fail to get this Fat Kirby. Yep. Yep, of course it failed, because this game sucks. Where is it? Yeah, so in Nightmare in Dreamland, there is the... We do have to beat the minigames on the hardest difficulty, except for the Samurai Kirby one. And yeah, you know that a game is way too bullshit when they actually, you know, don't force you to do it on the max difficulty, because yeah. So stupid. So fucking stupid. Although to be fair, there's other games that does that. Superstar Ultra for Samurai Kirby, they're also generous to make you beat it on any difficulty. And wow, both Kirbys drop frame 1. This game fucking sucks. You know, at this point, I'm not gonna get my hopes up because I know that this is gonna take me a while. So I'm not gonna like lock in. I'm not going to it's not gonna grab. I'm not gonna lock in. I'm not going to like straighten up the chair. I'm just gonna sit back and I'm just gonna wait for the inevitable time when I get this stupid thing. And yeah, let's see if we can actually reach the 3-hour mark. Or 2-hour mark. We're at an hour and 25, and wow, the one... And you look at that, we got a frame 1 drop. Nice. Almost hour and a half. Well, we're at hour 25. Oh my god, stop, please. Why can't you go to the default difficulty that we're doing all this time? Why can't you do that, game? Is it so hard to do? It's not gonna grab. Nope. Of course it's not gonna grab, because I was 1 pixel to the left. Or I was 1 pixel off to the left. Okay, that's gonna grab. So you know it's gonna grab the Fat Kirby in the middle if the metal part of the crane is in the rightmost side of the orange triangle. Oh my god, it happened again! It happened again! 2 times in a fucking row. What are the fucking odds of that happening? Why are you not sliding like you're supposed to, you retarded piece of machinery? Like that. Why can you do stuff like that, you stupid motherfucker? You know, with the Kirbys on the side, with the Kirby artworks on the side, I should have done an evil Kirby, you know, with the evil wolf eyes. Because that would be very fitting for this part of the mastery. It's not gonna grab. Oh, it is gonna grab, wow. But it's gonna drop frame 1. Or it's gonna give it to me now. Oh my god. We got it. Oh my god. Imagine I was not logged into my RetroAchievements account. Oh my god, that would have sucked. That would have been the worst. But there we go. An hour and 27 minutes of recording, and we finally got the worst achievement in the set. Now you know what? Let me show you quick draw just to show you how bullshit it is. Also, I was not ready because I was getting my headphones. Or getting my headset. So yeah, I'm not counting that. But yeah, let me show you how bullshit it is. Alright, 18 frames. Not too bad. $18 frames again. Okay. Wow, that was instantaneous. Alright, 20 frames. 12 frames. 12 frames. Keep in mind that on the easiest difficulty, DDD fires at 11 frames. So, yeah. Let's just say that this minigame is because we're playing on an emulator, this minigame with the input lag, with the lag and input with the input delay and emulation lag, or game lag, I should say. Yeah, trying to beat this on the hardest difficulty is I would say 100% impossible. So, or unless you have godlike reaction, or you know exactly when the prompt is gonna show up, which by the way is random. So, what I am gonna do is I'm gonna go to settings. I forgot what it is. I believe it's latency. We're gonna go to run ahead, single instance, and we're gonna go to 12 frames. And we're just gonna do it. And yes, you may notice that the game is lagging, and that is because, yeah, we are making the game chug a bit. Now, one thing that is insanely bullshit about this minigame is that if you press the button the frame the prompt shows up, you're getting a foul. Yeah, you actually need to wait a couple of frames when the prompt shows up in order for you to actually win the round, which is so stupid. Actually, you know what? Let me see real quick. What is DDD? What is DDD's reaction time? 9 frames. 9 frames. That is 2 less frames than easy mode. Wow. That is so stupid. But yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this right now. If you call me a cheater, whether in the archives channel or the main channel, try doing this yourself. With input delay, with input lag from emulation, and the lag from the game. Or having the annoying aspect of specifically with this game more than anything we've mastered so far, that sometimes the input doesn't read. But there we go. Fastest Pollo in the West. But also the cheapest Pollo in the West. So yeah, we're gonna go back to 1, just in case. Turn it off. And we're gonna go back to the game. So yeah, I cheated, but like I mentioned many times before, my philosophy when it comes to a game that relies on, or the game that deals a lot of bullshit to you, my philosophy is, if the game gives you bullshit, then I see no problem on bullshitting the game back. Alright, so now we got egg catchers, and this is one of the most interesting ones, because this one, you may think that you have to rely on luck whether you're going to receive a bomb or not. However, I learned that you actually have a predetermined pattern on the eggs and bombs. And according to a comment by, where is it? Fig Newton on RetroAchievements. It says that if you boot up the minigame upon fresh start or even after a reset, you'll get a pattern where the eggs are grouped in a predetermined pattern, which is where basically we have 3, 4, 4, 3, 1, 4, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2. And basically, those numbers mean that you want to hold the button and just count the amount of eggs you get. So, after eating 3 eggs, release the A button. When the next egg comes up, you want to count a 4, and so on and so forth. Now, that being said, there's actually another pattern you can get. However, if you get the pattern that the pattern that I told you right now, if you basically need to do a bit of trial and error. And yeah, this one is, and yeah, because of the predetermined pattern, this is without question the easiest of the minigame achievements. So yeah, let's go and actually get it. Oh yeah, we got the bad pattern. Because yeah, it's at 4 right there. Alright, let's see if we actually get it this time. After 3, we need 4. Okay, there it is. Oh, damn it, I lost the timing. Okay, let me actually highlight this. Now, the question is it going to be the same pattern when I go it again, or is it going to be a different one? I actually don't know, but I consistently reset just in case. I did it again. Oh my god. So yeah, it's 344 314. All right, let me actually No, not you. Get out of here. Get out of here, you cancer. No, not extra game. We're not doing that until after we beat the bonus games. So yeah, 3443 or 344314. Oh my god, I brain farted. All right, you know what? Let me actually do something. Thankfully I do have them, but I forgot where I put them. Oh wait, it's over here. Oh. So yeah, in order to avoid I'm actually looking at the pattern on my second monitor. However, yeah, that's basically messing me up because you know I'm not looking at the screen. So what I'm gonna do is, oh god, I'm gonna write it down on a post-it note, and then I'm gonna stick it to my main monitor. So 3, 4, 4, 3, 1, 4, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2. Alright, so let's post it outside of the screen, maybe? Yeah, right here in the corner. Alright. I should have written bigger numbers, but whatever. No, stop giving me crane fever. Yeah, that's actually another problem. You actually need to select the main game. It doesn't reset back to the thing. That's actually another reason as to why I went with crane fever first. All right. You know the worst part? The post-it note fell off, and yeah, I basically memorized it. But yeah, I missed one, so I missed one because I thought it was 1, but no, there's only 1 1. All right, 3 4 4 3 1 4 2 2 3 2 2. Damn it. But yeah, this one requires a lot of memory. Perfect! And there we go. See? It was not that bad. It was really not that bad. So, yeah, shoutouts to Fig Newton in RetroAchievements for figuring out the pattern. And, yeah, like I said, this is definitely the easiest of the... This is definitely the easiest of the minigame achievements. And there we go. Very easy. And with that, we are done with the minigames. So... yeah, to the surprise of nobody, Crane Fever took the longest because it's pure RNG. And yeah, let's go to the boss rush. So yeah, like I said during the Crane game, basically for this mode, we need to fight every single main boss in the game, or every single main boss, which includes, well, you know, the main bosses overall, or... basically, you know, you have to fight every main boss, but no mini bosses. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And basically, you have to do them back to back and without healing items. So, yeah, if you and your health carries over to the next fight. Now that being said, there is no restriction on doing this with or doing this normally, you know? Or, in other words, you can use copy abilities. So, what I'm gonna do with Paint Roller is I'm gonna wait until he... oh, perfect. I'm gonna wait until he spawns the... oh, thank God for not... thank God for not, for not... jumping. But yeah, basically, once we get my recommendation for having an easier time is to get Spark from... oh wait, I gotta wait. Who's gonna go in the air? See, look at that. So yeah, basically what I like to do is on Paint Roller, I like to wait until he draws the cloud that will give you Spark. And basically with Spark, you can delete Mr. Shine and Mr. Bright incredibly fast. Oh god. Okay, do not use turbo. Also, yeah, look at this. We're just... Krakow is not even an entity in that section with high jump. And yeah, basically for this, with high jump, this fight is a I forgot that he actually does a dive after the lightning strike when the fight starts. Because yeah, he always starts like that in the... oh my god, this stupid cloud is giving me PTSD. Alright. You know what? Let's be intelligent and wait for Krakow to do an attack. Also, you gotta be careful because you cannot use high jump while in the air. You actually need to do it from the ground. So, that's actually another thing you gotta be careful of. I mean, you know, considering that you cannot spam high jump like you can in Return to Dreamland, it should be a bit obvious. Alright, so for this fight, it really doesn't matter if we get Hammer, because after this we got Meta Knight. And for Meta Knight, we are forced to grab the sword. So yeah, we just have to, so yeah, we can have a bit of a power trip with Hammer. Unless I frickin' die. But yeah, my recommendation for... shit. My recommendation for Heavy Mole is do jump attacks, because because you can jump in and back with the hammer and not take damage. Alright, now for Meta Knight. And yeah, for this one, we're just gonna do this the damageless strat. Except not really, because I'm greedy. But yeah, basically we're just gonna stay in the air, wait for him to jump, and then do a jump attack close to him so that we can deal damage. And then immediately float back. Yeah, you're definitely gonna reach me there, Medi. Medi. Now, I will say that the fight I'm the most scared of is, funny enough, DDD more than Nightmare, because... Oh, well. Because Nightmare... I mean, as I showed in the, what's it called? As I showed in the damageless achievement, it's really... Unless you... because Phase 1 is really easy, and Phase 2, his attack... pattern is consistent. Wow. Yeah, Nightmare is honestly not that bad. I will say that the two bosses that are the most dangerous, at least for me, are Meta Knight and, to some extent, Heavy Mold, depending on his pattern. But Meta Knight and DDD are definitely the hardest fights of the game. Also, if you fail to get the damageless achievements for these bosses, you can actually get them in this mode. Now, granted, for Meta Knight, for the second half of the bosses, it's gonna be very tedious because you gotta do the other bosses. But you know, it is something worth mentioning. Alright, come on, Painty. Give me a cloud. That is not a cloud. Oh! I believe that gives you ball, but I don't know. Okay, I am going to wait for Spark. Should I? Nah. Oh, look at that. Thanks, buddy. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, the previous enemy I swallowed, I believe it gives you Mike. And there's actually a bug where you can have Mike be last indefinitely or have multiple uses of Mike. I knew it. Yeah, I knew it. And basically... Yeah, let's just reset. And basically, I did discover, oh my god. And basically, I did discover that if you get the mic ability, there's going to be an error in the achievement and you're not going to get the achievement. I know this because it happened to me. I managed to beat Boss Rush, no problem. But because I used mic on the paint roller fight, it bugged out the achievement and I had to do Boss Rush again. So, yeah, this is a fair warning for all of you who think you can cheese stuff for paint roller or with mic, I guess. And you know what? Oh my god, that is perfect. First spawn, amazing. Now get out of there. Get it! Yes! Okay. I believe the... Oh, never mind. Yeah, I was gonna say, I believe the guy you're standing next to is gonna go up. But nope, that's not the case. Alright. So now it's time for the stupid cloud. Alright. So he's gonna start with the lightning. And then he's gonna do a swoop. See, I learned. I learned from my mistakes of being greedy. Really? Why is that a thing? Why does the thing bounce off from Kirby? That is so stupid. That is not a thing in any other Kirby game besides this, for the record. Oh my god. Okay, good. Now, unfortunately, we cannot cheese this, like, superstar where you can make a helper, get the sword, ditch the sword, and then get the hammer from the helper, which that's actually something I love doing. But no, we have to use sword. We are forced. And unlike superstar, where if you take a while, Meta Knight is going to attack you, or Meta Knight is going to go into the arena, you actually have to grab sword in this one. But yeah, the reason I'm doing the air attack is because because of how high I am, I'm gonna do a little bounce when I land. Now that being said, if you can actually land normally, it is possible to attack Meta Knight twice before he gets a chance to move. But yeah, one thing I'm gonna say right now, do not greet this, because, or do not turn this into a battle of attrition, because, or a DPS test, because you're gonna die. I think it's actually impossible to get rid of Meta Knight before he kills you with full health, for the record. Oh no, I missed. You see, if this was Hammer, I would have reached him. Alright, one more hit, I think. Come on, buddy. Hey, thank you for not parrying. Oh my god, it's me! Alright, now for... King... And, oh wow! And, oh wait, look at that, we got the hammer! Nice! Oh wow, I completely forgot that you actually keep the ability from Heavy Mole. Or maybe you actually start with Hammer? I actually don't know. I may have to do a little bit of experimentation. Except not really, because I really don't want to I don't want to force myself doing this stupid thing again. But yeah, if you actually start with a hammer, then that's actually an interesting choice, considering that, you know, hammer is completely busted and completely goated. And bong. Alright, so we have 4 HP with against Nightmare. Yeah, that's not that bad. We can do phase 1 damageless. Now I say that, but I'm gonna take damage because I just jinxed myself. See, I knew it. I called it. I freaking called it. Yeah, that was my fault. Oh my god, he did the thing. Yeah, I had a feeling he was gonna do the thing. Yeah, that's okay, because we got two shots. If you can get to the Final Nightmare or phase 2 with 2 HP, you're good. Because Nightmare Phase 2 is really not that hard. However, as you saw by my performance, I just jinxed myself, so yeah. So I took 2 hits on DDD, I took 2 hits on Nightmare Phase 1, which means I'm gonna die to Nightmare Phase 2. You may think it's impossible, but trust me, I'll find a way. I always find a way to do stupid stuff. Alright, let's go. Oh, perfect. That was perfect. Oh! Wow, you're too high. And once again, in the freaking corner, you gotta love it. Ah! Oh. Now I could have jumped into him for the... Oh, wow. See, look at that. I actually deflected that time. Alright, one more hit. And he's gonna do the tornado attack. Yep. Of course I miss. Of course I miss. Oh my god, my life sucks. But... why did you shoot Kirby? Oh my god. Freaking lag, man. You gotta love it. There we go. See? It wasn't that bad. And there we go. Boss Endurance. And there we go. And with that, we only have one more achievement, and that is to beat the extra game, which is basically the game again.